Well, Stephen Farry is with me. Stephen Farry, you're named there in Kevin Sharkey's report as one of the potential candidates. Why would Alliance even consider taking this post?
Well, this is all very flattering, but at the moment this is no more than an interesting parlour game. Devolution hasn't yet happened, and the focus has to be, in addition to the economy, getting devolution for Northern Ireland. There's a huge opportunity from devolution in terms of joined-up government, proper accountability, and indeed any self-respecting legislator in the world will want to have powers over criminal justice.
But Alliance has set its stall out to be this party of opposition. You're clean, you're untainted by what the Executive's doing. Now you're going to give all that up for the promise of opposition none of the other parties want?
Well, certainly Alliance is not chasing this job. If other parties want to come to us and suggest that we will be it, we will consider it in light of the circumstances at the time. The Alliance Party will always act in the best interests of Northern Ireland as well as the interests of the party. We are a constructive party, but we have to listen to the detail of that offer. And for us, I think the key consideration is the ability to actually do the job and the freedom. We certainly can't be a puppet of the two largest parties, the DUP and Sinn Féin.
And from what you've seen of the legislation, are you comfortable with what's been proposed and what's actually now in law?
Well, the legislation going through at the moment does not have the fingerprints of the Alliance Party on it. We don't have a place on the Assembly Committee dealing with this issue, which is most unfortunate if people are talking about us being the minister in the end. So I think it's important that governments and other parties do take on board the points and concerns that Alliance would have.
Now, have other parties had substantive discussions with yours yet?
There's been a lot of speculation about Alliance being the minister. Frankly, very, very little people actually come to talk to us. Like any party, we are listening and watching the debate unfurling. As the Justice spokesperson myself, I'm always talking to the different agencies, different aspects of the department, the NGOs, and taking on board all of the concerns. But that's really where we're at the moment. We're working towards devolution happening. We're making solid but steady progress, and hopefully it will happen during this year. OK, well, Arlene Foster's with us, so let's just bring her in for a moment. Arlene Foster, the DUP, to some extent have it within their gift to agree who this post should go to. Should it be Alliance?
Well, first of all, the legislation that's going through Westminster at the moment is enabling legislation, and we should recognise that the trigger, if you like, pardon the pun, for bringing forward policing and justice will be through the Assembly, and it's through the Assembly that the person will be appointed to be the minister. And one of the reasons that we wanted the legislation in Westminster changed was to reflect that the Assembly has to, on a cross-community vote, pass the person who's going to be the minister. And I think that's vitally important when you have policing and justice, which is key looking forward for Northern Ireland, and we need to have somebody there that's actually going to be acceptable, as you heard in your piece, to everybody in Northern Ireland. Now,
of course, you've made confidence the test. Is confidence building?
Well, we're doing our best to build confidence, certainly on our side of the community. What we do need to see, and part of the package that we need to see coming about for the devolution of policing and justice, is finance. And Les Allenby mentioned in your piece about finance. Finance is key to all of this. And certainly we need to see the resources put into Northern Ireland to have an effective police service. There's no point handing over, and indeed criminal justice for that matter as well, there's no point handing over policing and justice if we don't have the money to run it in an effective way.
Well, Stephen Farry, do you think the argument then has moved from one about this idea of confidence into the practical issues such as finance?
I think we are moving in that direction. Finance is important. There are a number of pressures building up in the system. In the long run, our system in Northern Ireland is actually very inefficient and ineffective. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to make things better. We also have to bear in mind the uncertainties, how events will actually knock things off course, with the threat from the dissidents, which is very much skewing the policing budget, and also the whole issue of the legacy of the past, which is a major challenge for us all.
Stephen Farry, many thanks indeed.